All right, let's dive into Google's brand new AI Gemini 3 Flash. And I gotta tell you, this isn't just some small incremental update. No, this is a big deal. We're talking about a model that's aiming to become the new workhorse of the AI world. And it's doing that by tackling a problem that has plagued AI for years, that constant battle between being smart, being fast, and being affordable.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into something called the AI trilemma, the big challenge every developer faces. Then we'll see how Gemini 3 Flash is Google's big answer to that problem. After that, we'll pop the hood and look at the specs, see what it can actually do in the real world, and finally, figure out why everyone's calling it the new AI workhorse.
Okay, so to really get why Gemini 3 Flash is such a big deal, we've got to start with the problem it was built to fix. And that problem is known as the AI trilemma.
You know that old saying, good, fast, or cheap, pick two? Well, for years, that's pretty much been the story for AI developers. They've been stuck in this constant trade-off. You could get a super smart model, or you could get a super fast model, or you could get a cheap one. But getting all three at the same time? Yeah, that's been the holy grail, the one thing that seemed impossible. You always had to give something up.
And that is exactly where Google's Gemini 3 Flash enters the picture. It was built from the ground up with one goal in mind, to shatter that trade-off.
The main idea here is, well, it's simple on the surface, but it's also wildly ambitious. The goal is to give developers top-tier, frontier-level smarts, but at a speed and a price point that lets them build for millions, even billions of users. The whole point is to finally say goodbye to choosing between a powerful model and one you can actually afford to run.
And, this quote from Tulsi Doshi at Google just nails it. It's all about combining that pro-grade reasoning, the really heavy-duty thinking, with flash-level speed and cost. So you're literally getting the best of both worlds in a single package. Okay, so that's the big promise, right? But does it actually live up to the hype? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's look at the numbers and the benchmarks to see what this thing can really do. Now, before we jump into the charts, we need to quickly talk about a concept called the Pareto frontier. It sounds a little technical, but the idea is simple. Think of it as the line that represents the best possible trade-off. On that line, you can't make something better, like speed, without making something else worse, like quality. What Google is claiming here is huge. They're saying Gemini 3 Flash doesn't just sit on that old line, it actually pushes the entire line forward. It creates a whole new standard for what's possible. Okay, and check this out. This is where things get really impressive. Gemini 3 Flash isn't just a little better than the last Flash model. No, it's actually significantly better than the previous generation's Pro model, the big, powerful one. And on top of that, it's 3 times faster. So let that sink in. It's smarter and it's faster. That's a huge leap. And we're not just talking about Google beating its own records here. Take a look at these scores. This is from a benchmark called GPQA, which is basically a test of PhD-level scientific reasoning. It's tough stuff. And Gemini 3 Flash scores a 90.4%, putting it right up there, head-to-head with the top-tier models from competitors like OpenAI and Anthropic. This thing is absolutely playing in the big leagues. And if that wasn't enough, it also has a massive context window, over 1 million tokens. Now, if you're not familiar, you can think of the context window as the AI's short-term memory. And 1 million token memory is just gigantic. It's like being able to read a 1,500-page book or go through hours of video and remember every single detail perfectly. It's a huge deal for complex tasks. So, the specs are obviously impressive, but what does all this power actually mean in the real world? Like for you and me? Well, let's break it down for 2 groups. First, for the developers who are building the next generation of apps, and second, for all of us who use Google's products every day. All right, let's start with the developers. For them, this model is an absolute game changer. It's built for what people are calling the agentic era. And that's just a fancy way of saying a time when we can build AI agents that don't just answer one question, but can actually go off and perform complex, multi-step tasks all on their own. And just look at what this makes possible. For coding, it's so fast and good that it actually beats the bigger Gemini 3 Pro model on some tests, which is wild. It can analyze live video to give you real-time help in a video game. It can power near-instant deepfake detection, a huge deal for security. And it can tear through complicated legal documents with incredible speed and accuracy. The possibilities are huge. But look, this tech isn't just locked away for developers, not at all.
It's already being baked into the Google products that millions, maybe billions of us use every single day. It's now the default brain behind the Gemini app and AI mode in search, and it's powering some seriously cool new features. Imagine this. You can upload a video of your golf swing or your pickleball serve and get instant feedback on how to improve. Or you could just describe an app idea out loud with your voice and watch it get built right in front of you. You can even upload a recording of a lecture and have it create a custom quiz to help you study. This is a massive upgrade to the everyday experience. Okay, so this is really the key takeaway. When you smash together pro-level intelligence with lightning-fast speed and a super low cost, you don't just get a slightly better AI model. No, you fundamentally change the entire economic equation of building with AI. And that, right there, is why everyone is calling Gemini 3 Flash a workhorse model. Think about it. It's designed to be the reliable, powerful engine for the millions of tasks that happen behind the scenes in our apps every day. All those high-volume, high-frequency jobs that need to be done smartly, quickly, and cheaply. And if you want proof, nothing, and I mean nothing, makes this clearer than the price tag. Let's say you want to run one of those complex million-token AI agent tasks. On a competing model, that might cost you around $18. But on Gemini 3 Flash, it's $1.25. That isn't just a small price drop. That's almost a 15 times cost advantage. It literally takes ideas that were way too expensive to even consider and makes them not just possible, but the new normal. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Big enterprise customers are already seeing the impact. This quote from Bridgewater Associates says it all. They call it the first model to deliver that pro-class depth at the speed and scale that their super demanding real-world workflows need. Which brings us to one last big thought. For so long, the world of AI has been defined by that trade-off between power and price. What Gemini 3 Flash is doing is trying to completely erase that line. And that leaves us with a really exciting question. When every single app, every service, every device we own can have a fast, affordable, professional-grade brain inside of it, what in the world are we